Three things. There are three things with my content I desire to put every melanated man, woman, and child on this planet through. Three things. The first one is spiritual reawakening. What is a spiritual reawakening? Which is the first thing. Awareness of who and or what you truly are. Awareness of the disposition that you must stand on. Awareness of the right thing to do habitually. You don't know about those things. You don't know about these things. You want to know why? Because the enemy of the world took away all of your comprehensive abilities to do so. Reasoning? Because the enemy is an infinite attacking force. An infinite attacking force. Infinitely attacking. So it had to make you stupid enough to accept its ways into your reality. One where you infinitely become attacked by what it is and why it wishes to attack you. Second thing, I'm gonna re-explain all three of them again. But the second thing, I call it the soul fusion. Soul fusion. So the first thing is the spiritual awakening, and the second thing is the soul fusion. Soul fusion. What do I mean by soul fusion? The acceptance of the first one. I've already done my fusion. I already accepted I am of the spirit soul. I am a constituent of the universe, meaning I have merged my conscience with the universe itself. I've done that already. In other words, I've merged my conscience with the source of all moral authority. That's it. So in other words, what I have done is I have allowed morals, moral principles, good moral principles to be my way. That's all I did. That's the soul fusion right there. The spiritual awakening, the spiritual reawakening is just awareness of the disposition, the right moral, not immoral, the right moral disposition to stand on. Soul fusion, stand on it. Or accept it. Or embrace it. Become it. Which is going to tie into the third one. Spirit soul liberation. Which is what I've been saying the whole time. I've just been saying soul liberation only. But when you do the fuse properly, it'll be spirit soul liberation. But I'm just going to stick to soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, soul coexistence for right now. But that's the third thing right there. Spirit soul liberation, spirit soul liberation, spirit soul freedom. Now, why these three in order? What is awareness first? Because the spiritual reawakening is spiritual awareness. The spiritual reawakening is spiritual awareness. Awareness of the proper disposition to stand on. What a disposition even is. Do you even know what a disposition is? Let's just say it is a foundation or principle of habits in which one, or which has been placed in someone or placed into a thing. Give me a second. The definition slipped my mind sometimes, but a disposition could also be considered as an inclination or tendency, or the way in which something is placed or arranged, and especially in relation to other things. So the way in which something is placed or arranged. The way in which something is placed or arranged. What do you mean by way? Or what do you mean by in which something? It could be an entrenchment. It can be a personality. It can be anything. It can be habits from your external world affecting your internal soul position or your spirit soul position, because that's what a disposition actually is. An inclination or tendency, meaning a soul position or a spirit soul position or a spirit position. That's what a disposition is. A spiritual position, spirit position, spirit soul position, soul position, soulful positioning. That's what it is. Are you aware of your soul's positioning? Are you aware of your spirit's positioning? Are you aware of it? If not, I'm going to tell you right now how it is positioned within our ultimate reality. This spirit soul is the God I serve personally and will never stop serving it, ever. I'll never stop serving the spirit soul, ever. You couldn't pay me to stop serving the spirit soul. Why? Because the spirit soul is flipping me. And we are one and the same being. I've done my fusion. Your turn. I'm just going to say these words out loud. You want to know something? These attacks, I consider them peace pals, right? These so-called attacks that I'm plaguing upon your world with knowledge and whatnot. Did you know I'm not really attacking you at all? I'm just saying things out loud. That's all I'm doing. Look at how much change it's bringing. But I don't like to brag. I just like to finish my objective. The world of peace. Spiritual reawakening, soul fusion, spirit soul liberation, soul freedom, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, soul coexistence. It was something important I was getting ready to say. I needed to say it. Awareness of the proper disposition, awareness of your soul position. That's what the spiritual reawakening is going to do. It's going to bring you awareness of your soul positioning, and it's going to teach you. And if you embrace it, meaning if you do the fuse and accept this personality and accept this character and accept this behavior, accept who and what. That's what I was going to get to. When you accept these words right here, the God I serve is the spirit soul. The spirit soul is the God I serve. That's the God I serve, the spirit soul, and the God in which I serve, its foundation and/or principles, in the words principle way, can be labeled and described with 4 specific words after this one. Hitman Hollow voice. Peace, love, unity, and advancement. Meaning the foundational principle basis or underlining basis of the God I serve, its way can be labeled and described with 4 words: peace, love, unity, and advancement. 4 words after this one: peace, love, unity, and advancement. How do you tap into this God's way? How do you tap into the spirit soul God's way? Because this is the God I believe in, and this is the God I serve. The spirit soul inside of us all. The spirit soul is the literal universe itself. Do some research on the Hirani-Agrabah. The Hirani-Agrabah. Hirani-Agrabah. That word is Sanskrit for the God of gods and or the soul of the universe. The Hirani-Agrabah in the Hinduism religion, because that's where it's from. Don't forget, Hinduism is a 5,000-year-old religion. The Hirani-Agrabah in Hinduism is the portion and or the soul golden like womb or golden egg womb that Brahma was born from. Yeah, Brahma. I said in the previous video Brahman or Brahman, when I was talking about how Candace Owens was doing her research and discovering a lot more things about Kamala Harris, I was saying Brahman. Now, when it comes to Brahman, think of it this way. Brahman is like the internal power of Brahma. And Brahma is the manifestation of the external power, period. If that makes sense to you. But Brahma, according to the Hinduism story, Brahma was born from a golden egg or a golden womb, which is in Sanskrit titled the Hirani-Agrabah. And if you translate that word to English, it stands for one of 2 things: the God of gods or the soul of the universe. Now, the Nation of Islam had a story, and I hope I'm not getting the years wrong, because I have to re-look into it again so I can retain it and memorize it. But I've been saying 72 trillion years for a while now. Now, if I was to combine the 5,000-year-old Hinduism religion's information on how Brahma was created and born or whatever, with the Nation of Islam story about the 72 trillion years, according to the Hinduism religion, and then combining it with the Nation of Islam story, 30 trillion years, the power that I believe is the actual most high of the universe that exists outside of the universe itself, that in which feeds prana into the universe, created a form for itself with a span of 30 trillion years within the Agrabah, meaning the soul of the universe. Within the Agrabah, this power that I believe is the true Most High, meaning the power that's above the crown chakra. Believe whatever you want, though. Fed its prana into the universe, into the Agrabah, the golden egg, soul of the universe, according to the Nation of Islam story. 30 trillion years. It could have been 32 trillion. I have to look at it again. But I know it was like it was a creation period, and then there was a moving across the universe period, according to the Nation of Islam story. So 30 trillion years within the Agrabah, the Brahma was being created within that egg, meaning it created itself within that egg, within that golden egg. And then once it was done, 30 trillion years, it hatched from the Agrabah. And when it hatched from the Agrabah, it created Shiva and Vishnu. Shiva came first, according to what I'm comprehending here. Brahma came out of the egg. And then after he came out of the egg, according to the Nation of Islam story, I'm just going to add it in there, 42 trillion years across the cosmos into the center of it. And then 42 trillion years across the cosmos to the center of it. From here, he nucleates the sun. Now see, honestly, according to the Nation of Islam story, whenever I look into it more and more, because the Nation of Islam is also a 1,400-year-old religion. It's not as old as Hinduism, of course. And the more I look into the story, the more I think to myself, there must have been multiple universes that this entity was participating in as it was moving across the stars to the center of it, across his own galaxy to the center of it. Because Brahma is the one that created the universe, according to the Hinduism story. According to the Hindu story, Brahma is the one that created the universe. And according to the Nation of Islam story, the 42 trillion years across his own galaxy, across his own universe that he just created after being hatched from during or while inside of the egg. And my guess is there were multiple realities that happened before he got to the center here. That's what my personal guess is. Me personally. This is why I also said in a previous video, there is a Mother Ma'at Enlil Isis in every universe right now that we have to subjugate by any moral means necessary. Check off. Whatever. But here, the Brahma, Lord Brahma, according to the Hinduism story and combined with the Nation of Islam story, moves across to the universe of the cosmos to the center of it. And from there, he nucleates the sun within our galaxy. And once that sun is nucleated, once Lord Brahma nucleated that sun, it caused a reaction for the negative energy that was within the midst of the still waters, that was within the still waters all throughout it, on the surface and upon the face of the deep, right? He nucleates the sun. It causes the negative energy to react. And then Shatupura was born. Shatupura is another Sanskrit deity whose name means she who has many forms. She who has many forms. If you don't believe Shatupura generated Shiva, I don't know what to tell you, because when I get ready to explain this to you, it's going to sound specifically like Shatupura is the reason why Shiva even exists. Now, you can sit here and say Brahma created Shiva, but from the stories that I studied, Brahma created Shatupura. Shatupura is the one that created Shiva, from what I can see. Just me personally. But here, it's crazy though, right? So check it. Hinduism is a very bizarre religion, but due to all that I've studied with the four energies, the negative, positive, balance, and the dead, I mean, I can comprehend it now. So now I'm just going to use it to tear the world apart for the sole purpose of finding my God, my normality, my wife, and my farming, in that order. Moving forward. So yeah, Brahma, 42 trillion years across the stars, probably created multiple realities in the process. That's just my guess there. Comes to the center of it, according to the Nation of Islam story, and according to the Christian story as well, combined all in one. I take all 10,000 religions and combine them into one. Just three of them right here. And Brahma nucleates the sun. Brahma nucleates the sun. Sun is born. Am I talking about Vishnu? Not quite. The sun is born, nucleated. chases the darkness out of the waters, or that negative energy becomes Shatupura, she who has many forms. That negative energy that reacted and exited out of the water when the sun was born, it became Shatupura, she who has many forms. Now, according to the Hinduism story, now you know how harlots like to depict and project what they feel like you are unto you, even though in reality they're talking about themselves, trying to make you be who they are. Like, for example, when they sit up here and say things like, men only want sex. When harlots sit here and say men only want sex, in reality it's the harlot who just wants to be intimate, or who just wants to copulate. It is only the harlot, not the man. Whatever harlots say we are, they are wrong. Don't listen to harlots, listen to women. Women are greatness, harlots are scum. But the thing is, it ain't their fault. Even a harlot can be reversed back to a woman. Any woman can. Any person can be turned back to normal. Just gotta know how, spiritual reawakening. And then you have to accept becoming normal, soul fusion. And you have to act it out, or walk within these ways habitually. Soul speed forever, soul liberation, soul sovereignty, spirit soul liberation, moving forward. So here, depictions, projections. Harlots always depict and project on the man what they feel like they are, what they feel like he should be, because that's what they are. Why do you think the harlot nature is all about primarily depression or deprivation? It's primarily about deprivation when it comes to the harlot nature. Deprivation, you see. Let me see. Project, depict. So, according to the Hinduism story, when Shatupura was first born, she was moving around the Lord Brahma so much that it caused him to grow 4 heads because he was watching her move so quickly. But in reality, it could just be she was moving so fast that he looked in 4 different directions. But see, according to the story though, Lord Brahma was infatuated with her. And Lord Brahma is the father of this here entity I speak of. So that means whoever wrote the Hinduism story wants me to believe that the creator of everything is a pedophile. But here's where it gets funnier or weirder though. Shatupura is born, right? I believe Shatupura is the devil, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Because I know how the devil is always trying to depict and tell you who she wants you to be. Or should I say he, she? Now that I know even more about what the devil actually is. He, she. Yeah, I'll say he, she for the devil, right? So Shatupura is wiggling around, moving around fast. As soon as she was born, she's like she was just born and just went crazy immediately. You follow what I'm saying? That's what I'm gathering. It's a negative energy. So it was born and just went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just went crazy. And Brahma was going crazy trying to keep up with her. But then, according to the story, she said that he was so infatuated with her. That's what the stories say in Hinduism. He was infatuated with his creation and so overwhelmingly attracted to it and just so obsessed with it and so, oh my God, it's just, oh, what is this? Just so overwhelmingly beautiful. And then it says that Shatupura gets frustrated at this. How do you get frustrated or annoyed at what created you? What is this? It's a lie. It's a lie right in front of you of a version of what really went down in the heavens or in the astral realm. If these stories are even remotely true. I don't believe none of this 100%, and I never will. Never will. At any rate, Shatupura, right? According to the Hindu story, runs around Lord Brahma, and then jumps over him to get his gaze off of her. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, what's going on is that she's moving around so fast. Darkness was just born and spawned, probably laughing around as she's doing it. And then she goes over his head. And then here's the thing. According to the story, it says he sprouts a 5th head to watch her, right? But then right here, watch this, right here. Once he sprouts that 5th head, watch what happens here. Shiva just pops up out of nowhere and cuts it off. Because Shiva claims, or Shatupura and Shiva, which are one and the same being, or at least they just come from the same force of energy, she who has many forms. Shiva pops up out of nowhere, chops Brahma's fifth head off, and nothing. Or it's probably more to the story. I'm gonna have to look more into it. But the head is chopped off. From what I'm gathering here, that so-called chopped off head became Vishnu. It's such a bizarre, crazy story. Okay, well here, how about this then? But Manu, I'm gonna talk about that in a second though too. I just wanna clear this up real quick before I go on. Manu as well. According to some stories as well, before I finish about the head being chopped off part, or where I see my mindset in regards to that right now. According to most of the stories, it was Lord Brahma and Shatupura that had a union together and created Manu. Manu, I said in the previous video, it was Manu. It was Manu. It's Manu. M-A-N-U. Manu. What is Manu? Manu is the first person. It's Sanskrit for the first person. It's meaning Adam. The first human being. Yeah. Even Hinduism has a story that labels and describes how Adam's birth took place, and it connects firmly with Revelation chapter 12, 1 through 17, talking about how the man-child was conceived from the mother, or from the womb, or from the woman. Behold, a wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, meaning us. It's all parables. It's all parables. Here. From the union of Lord Brahma and Shatupura, she who has many forms, or from what I consider the mother of the cosmos, and I would consider Brahma Vishnu as the father of the cosmos, because it doesn't speak about how Vishnu's birth took place. It doesn't. It also, because in a lot of stories it says Vishnu was just born. He existed before time and after time, and time created, and he was created. It's confusing, like, but in reality, no. Everything has a start. Everything has a start. Everything has a duration, or what it is doing currently, and everything has a destiny and or ending. Everything does. It don't matter what it is. Even God. You're not about to just sit up here and tell me that God ain't got no starting point. I know it does. It does. Everything does. Everything has a start. Everything has a duration. Everything has an ending. I'm not skirting out this principle at all. I'm not. Tired of these lies, man. Really, really sick of these lies. But here, I'm gonna overwhelmingly clear up more of them and overwhelmingly destroy a lot more of them real quick. So yeah, the cosmic father and the cosmic mother gave birth to the man-child, or came to a union and brought forth the man-child. The union between the positive energy and the negative energy created the balanced energy known as Manu. Random thought real quick. Just random. The makeup that our sisters, our women, the makeup that they are being programmed to put on to hyper beautify themselves is poisoned. All of the makeup is poisoned. Why do you think our sisters say things like, I can't go a day without my makeup, I can't go a moment without it, or I can't leave it out the house without it? It's because they are putting chemicals in these makeups that are making our sisters addicted to them. There are chemicals in these makeups. When they put them on, the chemicals seep into their pores, dopamine, pleasure is activated, makes you want it. Just like all the food, just like the water, just like the air, just like the people, all poison. Everything is poison. Barbarians run this planet, run this world. So of course everything will be barbaric. BBLs are killing you all, my dear family, my dear sisters. Makeup is killing you all, my dear family, my dear sisters. Stop participating in the harlot's game. Stop participating in the world's affairs. Here, moving forward. Just want to say that to you real quick. The makeup you put on has chemicals in it beyond comprehension that's making you addicted to it. But at any rate, the union of the negative energy and the positive energy within the astral realm, that is what brought forth the first man, first man, Manu, or Adam, or the first sun soul, or the man child, or the light of the world. It says the fifth head was cut off. I'm going to go back to that real quick. It says in the Hinduism story, the fifth head was cut off. It's like a puzzle. The Hinduism religion is like a puzzle, honestly. It's like a spiritual word puzzle that has been that seems to have been scrambled and mixed all over the place. But one thing I know for a fact is that I follow this four energy philosophy. I follow this four energy philosophy. This four energy principle is helping me solve everything immediately. The four energy principle: negative, or I'm gonna say positive first, balance second, negative third, and then I'm gonna say the dead space fourth. You see, I noticed in that previous video too, I messed up the order when I was talking about Brother Keys and Anton Daniels. That's nothing though. I still got my point across in that video. But at any rate, the positive energy, balance energy, negative energy, and space, which the three energies are inside the one of. So it's kind of like an atom. It's also like one singular atom. You see what I'm saying? And protons, neutrons, electrons, protons, neutrons, electrons, and the atom itself. Because the protons are the positive energy, the neutrons are the balance energy, and the electrons are the negative energy inside of the nuclei of the atom. You see, that's what makes up one atom. Look on the periodic table, random thought. This periodic table of elements, you'll see the atomic quantity, the atomic number for carbon is 6. Each atom holds all three of those energies inside of them. Each atom. And if the atomic quantity number is 6 for carbon on the periodic table, then that means there are 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons inside of 6 individual atoms. So in other words, it'd be 4 6s technically. What do you think about that? It ain't 3 6s. If you look at it properly and logically, it's actually 4 6s. Because there are 6 individual atoms or 6 individual nuclei that the 3 energies are inside of. Look at how much you have been overwhelmingly lied to about everything. But that's just a random thought, though. And then here they tell you to fear this number. This is the devil's number because of what it says in Revelation 13:18, where actually the King of Kings said these words. It was actually the King of Kings, not Satan, who told us these words. It wasn't Satan. Remember, Satan is a fictional depiction. Satan and Iblis are depictions, fictional, made-up people that Shatupura called us. Or Shatupura called the Cosmic Father. El Shaddai, Satan, Iblis, Jesus, Yeshua, Yahusha. All of those names came from the mouth of Shatupura. Believe whatever you want. Think about Iblis's name. Iblis is the devil or like the Satan of the Nation of Islam, by the way. That's what Iblis is. Think about Iblis's name. How does it spell? I-B-L-E-S-S. I-B-less? That's how you spell Iblis's name. I-B-less. You know, he didn't give himself that name. None of those names depicted unto the Cosmic Father did he give himself unto? Like you all may believe the Cosmic Father's name is actually Yahweh, Yahweh Allah Kaidios, Yahjakan, or Jehovah. It is not. The Cosmic Father has no names. The Cosmic Father has no name at all. All of the Cosmic Father's names were depicted unto him by the Cosmic Mother. They all were. Believe whatever you want, though, my dear family. I don't want to make videos too long. It's just a lot that I have to tell you. Can't wait to get around you. Let me get back. Let me try to land this cut off head part and what I think about it. So according to the stories, Shatupura, when she was first born, she was running around Brahma crazy and then jumped over his head and caused the fifth head to sprout. And then right in the midst of that moment, no explanation as to how it happened, Shiva just pops up out of nowhere and cuts off the fifth head and says that you're unholy for looking at your daughter in this regard. And then due to these actions right here, due to this story, now the people of the Hinduism religion, according to what I studied, they barely even want to worship Lord Brahma because they think he's a pedophile. They think the creator of all things is a pedophile. That's what that's what the people in Hindu believe, that the creator of all things is actually a pedophile. Well, you know, harlots love to tell you stories about their baby daddies to force you and to trick you into believing that this is what he is. But in reality, he was a great guy. A really great guy at that. I've fallen for that story many times. I ain't gonna fall for it again, though. Because you want to know the reality? There's three sides to every story. There's the lie, there's the truth, and there's the one in the middle, the indifference. The lie is bad and evil. Lies are bad and evil. The truth is good at all times. And what's indifferent, what's neutral, is just a balanced perspective and or your abilities to see both of them, the lie and the truth. That's all the neutral, indifferent position is. So the head was cut off. I believe that this head became Vishnu somehow. It doesn't explain how Vishnu's story was born. It doesn't explain how it happened. But if you're going to sit up here and believe that Brahma and Vishnu are two individual different entities, then I'm going to believe somehow that the fifth head that Shatupura cut off, because the stories claim that he was so overwhelmingly infatuated with her, when in reality, I'm quite sure he wasn't. That's a lie. I'm quite sure that was a lie. I'm quite sure. When Shatupura generated Shiva, because that's what happened. Shiva came and chopped off his head, his fifth head, and somehow I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know, man. It most likely somehow became Vishnu. Doesn't make any sense at all. None of the story makes sense, but it just doesn't. How did Brahma create Vishnu? I know how Brahma created Shatupura, but how did Brahma create Vishnu? How did Vishnu come into existence? It doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us. It tells us how Brahma came into being. And I have, due to all the information I've gathered, now know how Shatupura came into being and Shiva. Because Shatupura, Shiva, and Saraswati are all one and the same being. I don't care what you believe in, man. I'm looking at the obvious information right there. It's right there in front of your face. It's right there. Shiva is Shatupura. Shatupura is Shiva. They are one and the same being. She who has many forms. Shiva's the devil. The literal god of destruction. How was Vishnu born? How was Vishnu born? Brahma created Vishnu, but how? What's the process? Did that fifth head that was chopped off, did that become Vishnu somehow? If y'all would hear my side of the story and see what I may have to say or how I can contribute to these answers being solved, maybe you'll come up with the conclusion yourself. I'll just leave it at here. There are so many other things I need to talk about, though. So many other things. The next video I'm going to talk about, or the next video I'm going to post after this one, it'll be titled Humanity's Big Three Problems Expounded. I've already posted one talking about humanity's big three problems. I'm going to post another one now. This is an important video. Humanity's big three problems and humanity's big three assets. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.